Hi, my name's Sophie and I'm here today to talk to you about how Aspiration Digital kickstarted my career. So as you are all aware, I used to be at Maidstone Girls Grammar School and I'm here just to talk to you about my journey since then and how I've got to where I am today. So just to give you a bit of background first on what I did when I was at sixth form. So the A-level subjects I studied were business, English literature and psychology. And then I did a lot of extracurricular during my time in sixth form just to really help boost my CV and just really stand out against other applicants in job roles or also in uni applications. So for the first thing I did was house leader. So obviously I'm sure you're all aware house leaders kind of are in all schools and just help look after the younger students and run house events. I also was a Google assistant, which helped my school when it came to going out to Google. So we went out to Google head office and spoke to other schools about how Google can really help benefit people's students studying and just kind of all things Google. I also did media support for the school, which meant helping with filming and editing films for the school's YouTube channel. And I also did work experience as well, which I'm going to go into a lot more as we go through this talk. So just to give you a bit of background of how I started getting into my career and understanding what I wanted to do. So business was my favourite A-level, and more in particular, it was the marketing section of my business A-level that I absolutely loved. And this really helped when we were going to the careers day, which I'm sure you've all had or been to at least one of them in the school hall. We would just kind of go through all the different careers. So lots of companies would come and talk to you about the different career opportunities there are. Before going to that, I knew I wanted to be in marketing. So it really helped to kind of have that understanding, like base level understanding of what my passions were. And I went into the careers fair and actually ended up meeting Becky. So I actually stood at Becky's stall and kind of said, tell me a bit about your company, what you do, what's digital marketing, because, everyone knows what marketing is, but is there a difference? From what I understood, it was just online marketing. I didn't know what kind of opportunities there were there. So actually speaking to Becky and understanding that really helped to solidify that marketing was something I really wanted to go into. And actually I was aware that we had a week of work experience coming up where we had to find work experience to take in that week. And so I actually just kind of said to Becky, do you have the opportunity for work experience? And would I be able to apply? Becky instantly said, send over your CV and we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can find anything for you. So knowing that a lot of my friends were also quite interested in marketing, I knew that I had to kind of grab that and just really get my CV in quickly and go and try and get that week of work experience. So literally as soon as I left the careers fair, I went straight back into Sixth Form Central and got my CV up and sent it over to Becky. Luckily I'd kept my CV up to date, so that's a bit of a top tip for you, so that you can instantly get in when opportunities arise. So I sent my CV in, and then luckily for me that ended up with a week of work experience. So I actually came to Reflex Digital and did a week in the SEO team, so that's the search engine optimization team. I'm sure you may have heard of what that is by now. So I actually sat in that team and did a lot of keyword research, understanding how people search online, what consumer trends are, loads of really fascinating stuff. Once I had done that week, I realised actually this is definitely what I want to carry on doing. So having spoken to Becky and Paul at the end of the week, we decided actually is there an opportunity for me to come back at later dates? So having spoken to the school and seeing what the opportunities were, I was able to continue my work experience in my home study periods and any time that we were on holiday, so for Christmas or October half term, etc. I would just do some work for Reflex Digital in that time and just really helped kind of solidify my knowledge on lots of different areas of the company and just kind of really solidify what I wanted to do in my career. I then ended up actually attending Aspiration Digital in 2018. So it was the first time the event was run. This was because I'd managed to get my business teacher, Mr. Walker, and Becky in a room together, and lots of ideas came out of it. And Becky had the amazing idea of having a student event where we could inspire students into the world of digital marketing, which again really helped solidify what I wanted to do. And there is actually a blog post on Reflex page about the day and from my perspective, so if you want to go and give that a read, feel free. After that, a key thing for me was making myself active in the industry. So one of the big things for me was getting on LinkedIn, and that really came from Mark Gaisford's LinkedIn speech that he gave at Aspiration Digital, and that really inspired me and made me want to, get out there, put myself out there, be a bit brave, posting videos and content of yourself on what people do consider is a company-led social platform. It was risky, it was scary, but it paid off. I had a lot of interaction with my posts from, from companies, from people that I aspired to be in the industries, and that was just amazing. So yeah, that's one big thing. Definitely get yourself out there. From there, I was lucky enough to be offered a job at Reflex Digital. So having done all of the extra work experience and just really staying committed to the company, Becky and Paul offered me a job as an account executive, which meant I was working in the client services team. So that meant my job was very much, making sure that the clients were happy with the work we were delivering, reporting on all the KPIs and making sure that people were delivering the best standards to our clients. And also part of that role was looking into sales. So how can we, give more to our clients? Can they, for example, if they've got a search engine optimization contract, can we get them into paid social or paid per click and paid media? So there was lots of different parts of my role, but it was super enjoyable. I then came back to MGGS to run the careers fair myself, which for me was amazing because I'd been in that position where I had attended that and managed to get work experience. So going back and doing that for the school was amazing. And we also attended another one for Kent University, which was great as well. So after 2 amazing years at Reflex Digital with loads of memories, building loads of confidence and understanding into digital marketing and having a great team around me, I decided that actually I was ready to move on and to specialise in marketing that I really, really loved. So whilst I was at Reflect, I'd done a lot of marketing for law firms, for construction companies, and we'd also done something one-off for a fashion company. And I knew once I'd done that campaign that that was really what I loved. I also have an obsession with buying clothes, so that does not help. But I ended up managing to see the role at Ted Baker. So I wanted to talk you through about the interview process for Ted Baker. It's a global brand and it was quite intense. So I just want to give you a bit of background of what that interview process can be like. So I originally applied for brand marketing executive, which was a different role. It was more about brand communication than what I'm doing now. So I actually went for my first interview for that role. And that was more of like a get to know you kind of session. So understanding whether I'm the right fit for the company and whether they're the right fit for me as well. It's more of a get to know you session. I then got offered the second interview, which was with a task. So I had a week to put this project together and then I had to present it in my second interview. After that, I actually received an email saying, we think you're great, but we actually have this other role that we think you'd be more suited to. And so I got given the job description for it and I gave it a read through and I realised that actually they'd managed to take what I'd done working for an agency and how many clients I'd looked after and actually managed to apply it to a role that was even better suited for me in Ted Baker. So that was licensed marketing. So licensed marketing is more about working with the partnerships that Ted Baker have with other companies. So just to give you a bit of background on that, basically what Ted Baker do is they outsource certain areas of their company to other people, so other companies, so that they can basically become experts in, for example, bedding that not necessarily Ted Baker is an expert in. So they can, the partner will manufacture the product and we will white label it with Ted Baker. So that's just to give you a bit of info on that. So I applied for that role. So that was a third interview with another task, which was a very quick turnaround. And then amazingly, I got offered the job. So it was quite an intensive experience, but great knowledge and great opportunity to get myself out there. And one of the key things I did with this was I thought, you know what, if I don't get the role, it's great experience anyway. And I think that's something to really consider when you're applying for jobs. Even if you don't feel that you're going to get it, just always think about gaining the experience and gaining understanding of how interviews work. My job is intensive, it's a lot, but it's so enjoyable, and I just wanted to give you a bit of a flavour of what I do in my job. So basically what I do is a lot of business as usual, so BAU, if I use that reference, you know what that means, and with our licensed partners. So I inform them of anything that's going on in our company, and I also get them to inform me on anything that's going on in theirs. So that comes down to marketing plans, whether there's job changes, whether people are moving in the company, just so that we can have an understanding of what's going on. I also update them on what we're doing, so any brand communication that's coming out on our side, any offers we're doing on product, because they can actually match that as well, and they can replicate that sale, for example, or do whatever feels right for them in their industry. I collate and ensure all licensed partner artwork is seen and approved by a head of brand creative. So that's anything from e-com imagery to campaign shoots to social posts, emails, everything. So they have to make sure that anything that they're posting on their channels is also reflective of the brand guidelines and how the brand wants to show themselves in the industry. I also charge partners, so a lot of my job is charging partners for inclusion in campaign shoots. So they will pay to have the product included, and then we have to make sure that they're being charged for that. So that's more of like an admin-y part of my role. I also have to collate and verify their marketing plans. So contractually, all of our partners have to give a certain percentage of their marketing budget allocated to Ted Baker. So we have to make sure that they are sticking to that, and also that they're using it in the best places for their industry. One other big thing I do is idea generation. So when we're working with the brand marketing team, we have to make sure that our licensed products are being included and in the best way. So for example, Chinese New Year, which not necessarily is a big thing for us here in the UK, but in China, which is where we are also having to market, it's a massive thing. So we had to make sure that our products, so for example, jewellery and watches, that they were being used in a gifting campaign in Chinese New Year. So that was another big thing. And then obviously reporting on that as well. So making sure that we're able to give our licensed partners reports on, how well their products have been performing on the Ted Baker website. And then the last part of my job that I do is researching competitors and trends, so understanding how we can grow as a business. So for Chinese New Year, as I said, we did do a campaign. It wasn't massive, it was a very small campaign based on the fact that we don't have a big audience here in the UK. But looking into next year, we've looked at what our competitors have been doing, and also some aspirational companies, what they've been doing. So for example, your Gucci, your Louis Vuitton, all of those brands, what have they done for Chinese New Year, and how can we improve for next year? So that's just a little bit of a breakdown. These are some of the products that I am part of. So there's 22 different partners, so there's lots of different companies that we work with, and this is just a flavour. So you've got jewellery, watches, phone cases, rugs, wallpaper, bedding, kidswear, lingerie and nightwear, sunglasses. It covers everything. And this is a little flavour. I don't know whether you all go on the Ted Baker website, but we have actually just launched with a new bedding partner for spring summer 22. So this is the new imagery. So for this shoot, the partner shot it and we gave creative direction on it. So before the shoot happened, they had to put a mood board together of all the props they're going to use, the location they're going into, how they're going to style the bedding, what different shots they're taking of the bedding, all of that stuff. So we have to have visibility of everything, even if they do complete the actual shoot themselves. And as I said, we also run a lot of campaigns. So this was a Valentine's Day campaign that we did across paid social, email and the website. And this is just to show you that actually we are included in all of the big campaigns, but as big gifting moments, it's really key for certain partners of ours to be included in certain campaigns. So that's pretty much all I do. If I'm going to give you something today, it's to give you these 3 top tips. So top tip number 1, be active. Engage with people in the industry you want to go into, whether that's via LinkedIn or if you can make a connection at a careers fair like I did, that's massive as well. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you, go to them. You know, you're never going to find anything by waiting. You need to be active and make sure that you're going out there and gaining any opportunities and that you can. And don't be afraid to do something else something that's no one else is doing, because for me, I was one of my only out of my friendship group that decided not to go to uni, and I was nervous. I didn't know whether that was the right decision, but for me it felt right, so I stuck by it. And I think that's a really important thing to take away. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me either on LinkedIn or via email. It's all on this slide. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to any of you that are interested and that would like to gain some more knowledge or have any questions for me.